Voices is a European project co-founded by the Erasmus Plus program, and at the same time, the name of the podcast you are about to listen to.
Voices was born from a shared desire to listen more closely to young people and to the places that shape them, using storytelling to explore absence, belonging, and change across Europe.
The project starts from a shared question: what can the stories of young people in rural and remote areas tell us about Europe today, about work, belonging, and the decision to live, to stay, or to return?
This podcast series is produced by 3 different communities around Europe: Stentino in Sardinia in Italy, Purchena in Andalusia in Spain, and the Westfjords of Iceland. Created by participants with different experiences and points of view, in 3 distinct parts of Europe, the format of the series nonetheless reflects questions that all small and remote communities are confronted with.
My name is Fabrizio Contini, and I'm recording this introduction from Stentino, a small coastal village in the northwest of Sardinia. I grew up here between the calm winters of a town of about 1,600 residents and the summers when the population explodes and most streets, houses and beaches are suddenly full. This rhythm of fullness and emptiness has shaped the way I look at my town. A place of extraordinary beauty, but also a place marked by absences of people, of opportunities, of spaces to meet outside the tourist season.
My name is Arnar Sigurdsson, and I'm the host of the 3 episodes from the Westfjords of Iceland. For 3 years, I lived in Þingeyri with my family and was a participant in the daily life of all the guests in the 3 episodes. Having moved to, lived in, and left the Westfjords, it was a meaningful experience for me, being able to reflect on, with the guests, what living in the Westfjords means to them.
We are Ijipula, a youth association rooted in a small territory and open to the wider world. We believe in listening as a form of care, in stories as a way of staying, living, and returning. From places often described as peripheral, we create spaces where young voices can be heard, where memory meets the present, and where community is a lived, everyday practice. Our contribution to Voices emerges from Purchena and its surrounding villages, a territory shaped by movements of departure and return, of staying and transforming, of choosing where and how to live.
Out of these questions, I founded Absentia Exploring the Absence, an association based in Stentino. Absentia was born from a very simple intuition that what is missing in a place can become a tool, a starting point, if we choose to explore it instead of ignoring it. We work with young people, local residents, and people who come from outside, creatives, remote workers, and digital nomads, to imagine new ways of living, working, and staying in small coastal communities like Stentino. Our projects often start from empty houses, silent streets, low seasons, and ask, how can we fill these spaces with relationships, ideas, and projects?
East of Moon is a laboratory for community-centered innovation based in Iceland. East of Moon's motto is, poetry should be made by all and not by one, which emphasizes the importance of all sectors of society being able to express their own points of view and giving voice to what is important to them. One of the roles of East of Moon in this project was to hold a week-long podcasting course in our home in Hafnarhaus in March of 2025, bringing together youth workers and creative individuals from across Europe to explore the power of podcasting as a tool for community storytelling and social change. The objective of the course was to support young people and youth workers to practice youth-led media creation and storytelling, allowing young people from rural and remote communities who are often left out of mainstream narratives to connect and share their experiences. This aligns really well with the goals of the Voices project, which is to use the medium of podcasting to empower young people in rural areas for self-expression.
After this episode, each territory will be explored through a trilogy of episodes, one on living, one on staying, and one on returning.
The first theme is that of leaving your hometown, often for a bigger city in search of education and experience. The second theme is that of returning to the community where you grew up. And the third theme is that of staying, highlighting the stories of those who never left.
Together, these 3 episodes form a map of movement and belonging.
In the episode Leaving the Westfjords, we talked with Monika Janina, who, through volleyball, won a scholarship to study graphic design in Boston in the United States. Surprisingly, perhaps, she found many points of common with Þingeyri, the tiny fishing village where she grew up in, and the coastal areas of Massachusetts. She shares with us how the topic of ocean and coastal culture would become an inspiration in her work as a designer. In the episode Coming Back to the Westfjords, we speak to Gunnar Ólafsson and why he decided to return to the Westfjords with his 2 young daughters. We talk about the meaning of giving his daughters the values and experiences of growing up with village life and what meaning that has for him. Gunnar also reflects on the future of his daughter's generation and if that lies within Bolungarvík, their village. In the episode Staying in the Westfjords, we speak to local community leader Sigmundur Fríðar Þórðarson. Sigmundur has spent decades supporting sports, culture, and other recreational activities for young people in his hometown, Þingeyri. We reflect on the importance of this kind of glue for the community and young people in particular, and how participating in social activities by young people has come under a threat by mobile phones.
In returning to Purchena episode, we listen to stories of coming back changed. Alejandra speaks on a journey through Ireland, China, and the Czech Republic. Years of study and work, where encounters and life-changing experiences shaped who she became. Carlos shares his path through Granada and Madrid, where he explored graphic design and computer engineering while searching for a sense of purpose that those cities could not fully offer. Their stories meet back in Purchena, where return becomes an intentional act, and where a rural co-living space and a barber shop take shape as ways of building community. In Staying in Purchena, a conversation unfolds across generations. Carmen, an environmental science graduate who has started an environmental consulting business in the village, speaks alongside Maria, or Mariquita, whose life has moved through sewing, farming, and running a local shop. From a feminist perspective, they reflect on what it has meant to live as women in a rural environment across time. The conversation is gently held by José Carlos, Maria's grandson, turning listening itself into an act of care and recognition. In the episode Leaving Purchena, we follow José Andrés, a young tattoo artist from nearby Tijola. He left for Los Angeles, facing uncertainty and economic struggle, learning to survive far from everything familiar. In that distance, tattooing revealed itself as a vocation, and through ink and skin, he found his voice as an artist.
The first episode is dedicated to leaving. We start from Stintino and meet 2 guests who left the Highland about 14 years ago. Mattia Meloni, who today works as an engineer in cinema and digital media, and Nicoletta Seretti, a talented artist whose path began with a dream in fashion and then evolved into a broad artistic journey. With them, we talk about what it means to grow up in a small coastal village, to feel that your ambitions need more space, and to discover once you live both what you were looking for and what you didn't know you were missing. The second episode is dedicated to staying. This time, the journey moves between Stintino and Laconi, a small town in inland Sardinia. In this episode, I'm not only behind the scenes, I'm one of the two guests. Alongside me is Carlo Coni, founder of Treballu, the first rural co-living and co-working space in Sardinia. Together, we talk about what it means to choose to stay, not just to not live, but to actively build reasons to remain. We explore topics such as the population, the challenge of creating work in small communities, the relationship with tourism, and the role of projects like Absentia, Pescatori Digitali, Treballu, Giovani d'Oca, and local festivals in building new forms of community and welcoming people, travelers, and young people who are searching for a different rhythm of life. The third episode is dedicated to returning. Here we meet two people who, after important experiences abroad, have chosen to come back to Sardinia. The first is Federico Esu, who works at the intersection of European Union law, policy and innovation, and he's the founder of the Ithaca podcast and Nodi, a project that connects stories, territories and human capital in and from Sardinia. The second is the singer-songwriter Bianca Frau, whose latest EP is entitled Carousel, and who has carried her voice from the conservatory to international stages before returning home. With them, we talk about what it means to make a conscious decision to return, about the difference between nostalgia and genuine necessity, and about the difficulty, but also the beauty of finding or creating spaces in which to root a life after having lived elsewhere. Voices has also confirmed something I already felt through Absentia, that stories matter. When a young person hears someone talk honestly about living, staying, or returning, starting from a small village similar to theirs, something moves. They can recognize themselves, feel less alone, and perhaps imagine a version of their future that they hadn't seen before. Storytelling, in this sense, is not only a way of describing reality, it can also be a way of changing it, or opening possibilities.
Recording these episodes has been an act of listening and of presence. It has meant sitting with stories, with silences, and with voices that often go unheard. Through this process, we have not only documented experiences, but strengthened bonds, rediscovered our territory, and learned to pay attention to what remains when people speak from the heart.
And that we've empowered some people to go and find a bedroom somewhere, set up whatever equipment they have at hand, and just start making stuff and sharing it with others.
So, as you listen to this episode 0, I invite you to treat it as a doorway. A doorway into Stintino, into the Westfjords and Purchena, and into all the places that live inside us, even where are far away. Let these stories accompany you, provoke you, and maybe help you ask yourself a simple, difficult question. What is my place asking of me today? To live, to stay, to return, or perhaps just to listen more carefully? This is Voices. Welcome.